All right, we're going to be on Westfield for this one, guys, and I could not wait to record this video for you all because this was one of the closest games that I've played in a while, and I'm not going to spoil anything yet, but I'm going to tell you that you're going to want to stick around for this one because it was really, really good at the end. So I'm running this with optics, low noise exhaust, and binocs currently. Once I started going for, like, really trying to go for the 3 mark, I ran it with the Bounty low noise exhaust and Bounty optics. That was after I 3 marked the VK2801, not the 105, but the tier 6 tech tree version of the 2801. So after I 3 marked that one, I switched over to throwing the Bounty equipment on that, or from that to the 5916. So we're going to be on Westfield. It's an all-6 game. There's 4 light tanks. One of those is the AMD 178B on each team, and they have a Super Chaffee T37 and 12T, and we have the 2801 105, a Super Chaffee, and me, and then, of course, again, the AMD 178B on each team. So I got asked in the comment section of another Westfield video, what do I do in the mid, or how do I play the mid from both spawns? And from the northeast spawn, I'll be honest with you guys, I never go out to this location from the northeast spawn because it's just the way the angle works on the map, right? The only map that I know of that's perfectly, what can I say, symmetrical or mirrored is the map Ghost Town. A lot of maps are not mirrored perfectly, and what you'll find is that some bushes are just better taken by one spawn rather than the other. And there's a better angle that you have, and I don't know, you just seem to outplay people in those areas. So I find that for the southwest spawn, this area is more effective, and usually you have the advantage here just because of the way this hill works and the angle for spotting on the east side of this map. So you can come here from the northeast spawn, however, you're likely going to be challenged here by another light tank or other tank destroyers that are sitting here, and it's just like you have to go, it feels like you have to go further out to get here, you know, successfully from the northeast spawn than you do from the southwest spawn. It's just the case because there's trees here and the bushes are not as good, but here you have like a whole bush line to go to, and the angle is perfect because there's no other trees blocking your line of sight for this area of the map, and you'll spot mediums coming in. So I only go here from the southwest spawn. From the northeast spawn, I'm always sitting like in this bush line instead. However, if you're talking more about the city, because I wasn't exactly sure what this person was asking, the city is like really like not a lot of people play in this entire area, man. I know I'm missing some shots of the Cromwell guys, but I want to explain this to you. This city area, you can make like an active scout run or two if you want, kind of through these buildings to spot enemy tank destroyers, such as my Hellcat, right? You can do that, but I just find it to be kind of risky. But it's up to you. It's a good play to make if you're like an EBR, right? Because you can just whip through here like really fast and do the quick turn that those things can do, especially the 105, man. Like it just turns on a dime, so you can make that play work. But honestly, like, save this area of the map for the heavies or the mediums or people that can like side scrape and stuff like that. You don't want to be trying to brawl in this area, man, in any of this area. Like this area to me is just very uncertain, I'll call it. A lot of the heavies will just battle on the hill. People usually don't go in here because you end up just getting whacked by people that are sitting like over here or people that are sitting up here, you know. The whole area is just really questionable, man, because the buildings are scattered in a way where you're always going to be open to fire from somewhere usually. You can kind of make things work if you battle it in here. I know some heavies like to do that, but trust me, man, you're better off just avoiding this area unless you're going to make a quick active scout run or something. Other than that, I don't go to this area of the map where the trees are on the hill from the northeast spawn, so you don't have to worry about that. From the southwest spawn, I just go to that standard bush right there. So that's the mid. And now let's get back into this game. We have to defend the base, right, guys? I was clicking the like F1 square to let people know, hey guys, you know, let me get your attention. we got people that are pushing the base, and we need to do something about this. So I like to do that, especially at the lower tiers. People just aren't as aware of what's going on the map. Generally speaking, the players at this tier just aren't as good. It's the way it is. You have to accept that. There's a lot of really good players that will like crap on bad players, and it's like, dude, some people just want to get home from work or whatever and get on the game, and even though it can be frustrating when the game is really close and you have like a really bad teammate, you have to understand that, man. This is a free-to-play game. After all, it can be free-to-play if you really want to play it free-to-play. And there's some probably older guys that are just coming home from work or whatever. They don't care, man. Like, they just want to get on the game, shoot some red tanks, and it is what it is, man. You have to just be understanding of that. So I felt like I had a good amount of those players on my team, and it is unfortunate, but I felt like for this particular game that I was going to have to do a lot to get us the win, or at least get us close to the win, right? Just a lot of people kind of being passive. I think a lot of people don't have good view range. People making kind of dumb plays like the Hellcat running out, trying to spot like 3 people, and then the ARL that kind of does the same thing. He's got 1,000 HP, and he runs out here. And I don't think it's the worst play by the ARL, because at some point we have to kind of go after these guys. But you don't really want to just run out there without them being spotted, right? So that's why I'm trying to kind of help this team. The STRV-74 ends up over here as well, and there's just a lot of uncertainty out here, right, man? I'm only going to do what I need to do to spot this enemy team. I know I can spot them from this hill, like we just spotted the VK again, but it leaves me open to shots. So now I want to kind of try and run away from the STRV-74. I'm going to get a shot into him. Unfortunately, it only hits the track or whatever. Trying to get this to hit this guy, and I suppose at this point I could have went after the STRV-74. It's an option, but I would have thrown away some HP. What I decided to do instead is come back and try and spot for like the M4, FE, and ARL, the rest of my team, right? I'm running through here, and I'm taking a passive route, right? I don't want to make an active scout run yet because I don't want to throw away my HP. The team is not capping. Then these enemies are not capping, so they keep getting like on and off, right? It's not an immediate concern, is what I'm trying to say. Like, this isn't an urgent, we need to reset the cap moment, so that's why I don't go crazy like this ARL is doing in trying to reset the cap. I'll go from bush to bush, you know, let the binocs kick up and just see if I can spot people, but we just can't spot this Giro, man. I'm trying my best. The ARL finally spots him here, as I guess he takes a shot at the ARL, and we're trying to hit this guy, and it's just, for whatever reason, I can't seem to spot these guys. The VK is behind a building, then the ARL goes behind the building, the Jackson is probably back over here behind the buildings, and even if I am able to spot them, the Artie won't have shots, the ARL won't have shots, so you just have to really play this carefully, guys. I know there's a lot of people that will watch this and go, oh, you could have spotted this way, you could have spotted that way, but I always try to do my best to spot people while not losing any of my HP, right? Because I know that I'm going to need my HP for this game. I'm able to get a bunch of shots into this VK here, and then he goes dark, and I just can't get the shots, man. He's angled very, very well up against the building. I should have went to my view so I can show you guys, but he is angled up pretty well against the building here. You can see it's like really tough for me to get any kind of shot from this area, so I'm trying to kind of get a better angle there. The ARL is kind of pushing up here, and then the Giro cleans up the ARL. I'm able to get a couple shots at this guy before he retreats behind the building. But yeah, man, this is just a really tricky situation because the ARL hits hard. I'm sorry, the Giro hits hard. Like, I don't want to just run out there, man. There's also a Jackson there as well. Like, this is the tricky thing with spotting people, right? It's kind of hard to explain for someone that doesn't understand it too well, but you really have to be careful on how you spot an enemy team when there's 3 people just kind of waiting for you to rush in, right? They're not capping the base. It's not an emergency situation. Again, they get back on it, but you'll see that the M4 kind of approaches here, and it ends up being the Jackson. Or it could be the Giro again that's poking on the corner there. But as long as they aren't capping the base, it's not an immediate concern of mine, so I'm going to keep trying to do it defensively, if that makes sense. We're able to make the Jackson a one-shot now, still trying to get shots on the VK, and I will start fast-forwarding, guys, because eventually I'm going to have to use my HP here. I'm able to get another shot into the Giro, and I'm like, all right, man, I'm the only one that it seems like can clean these people up now. So now Jackson's approaching here. I'm going to clean up the Jackson. He was like 60 meters away, man. So I do get lit from that. And now I'm in a situation where I'm just going to use my HP, man. Like, I need to clean these people up because I don't know where the Super Chaffee is. And it's just Artie at this point on my team. Like, I have no other support here. So I'm just going to take the shot from the Giro. I'm going to take the shot from the VK. And this is why I conserve my HP. Now the Giro is going to come around, try and clean me up. I'm going to clean him up first. And we clean both these guys up. And also the Jacksons, we killed all three of them, right, because they were one-shots. And now we can advance and figure out where the Super Chaffee and the FV is. It basically makes me a one-shot, which is the only downside of this, right? But at some point, someone is going to have to use HP. Like, we only have 4 minutes left in this game. I need to start figuring out where the Super Chaffee is. We're running out of time. It takes me a good minute to get to the other side of the map. We have to figure out what else is going on here. Is this Super Chaffee even playing? Because he's just been back here the whole time, it seems like. Where's the other Artie? You know, the FE304 has really good mobility, so this guy could appear anywhere, honestly. And it gets to the point, guys, where you have to just... You're going to have to use HP. Like, the game has to progress in some way, one way or the other, right? So I'd rather take the chance, and I use my HP, and it is what it is. And we advance. So I'm now here poking right by this bridge. I like to come to this area because I find that you're pretty safe to kind of poke here because you can just go right back down again if you're lit. And you can often spot people in these areas and see if anyone's there. I don't see anyone there, so I'm thinking that it's very likely that all these guys are just sitting back here in like A3 or whatever. And I'm going to come this way now. And it's maybe a little risky, but I want to approach the enemy base from the 0 line. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to kind of fast forward and show you guys this. And I'm just approaching, trying to kind of keep trees in front of myself and running around all the way to like K0, right? Like all the way to this corner so I can come around and see if the Arties were there. And here you go. What do we have? A full HP Super Chaffee, half HP FE304, and a full HP Su-8. And we have 2 minutes and 16 seconds in this game. These are the things going through my head. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to cap. Because at this point, if the FV is going to sit back and try to not get spotted and basically defend me on the cap, I have a minute and 40-something seconds that I need in order to cap the base out, and there's only 2 minutes left in the game. So I need to get on the cap, like right now, if we're going to cap. The Su-8 never moves, so I'm able to clean this guy up, but the FE304 rushes the base because he has really good mobility. Now, I get spotted here, and the Super Chaffee, keep in mind, is full HP. So now we're in a situation where I'm perma-spotted by the FV because he's going to sit at this building. I need to try and remain safe from the Super Chaffee, but the Super Chaffee can just run around and shoot me, right? So I'm wondering why the Super Chaffee isn't doing this. He actually never ends up moving. I'll just tell you guys that. This guy never ends up moving. He has a 272 W8, and I never like to insult other players, but this is why I use XVM, guys, because the play that the Super Chaffee is making right now makes a lot of sense based on his statistics, right? Jeez, that's kind of hard to say. Based on his stats, we'll just say, what this guy is doing makes sense to me. Like, he's not even moving. He was sitting in the back the whole game, right? And he's got full HP, probably because he was just camping or whatever. Or maybe he has a really bad connection, I don't know. But what ends up happening here is the FV is actually going to push into me. My FV just kept missing his shots, man. I was like, oh my god, dude, just hit one of these. Just hit one shot, man. And he just kept missing. It's unfortunate, man. He probably has like maybe 75% crew or whatever. Again, people play this game very casually. It sucks, man. I just wish this guy could hit one shot for me. But he kept missing, and did I throw this? Like, could I have backed up closer to this building? Maybe this guy would have missed me if I went back the other direction instead of trying to fool him and go this direction. But it's like, at that point, the guy is 10 meters away from me. He's probably going to end up shotgunning me. And then I also noticed that my FV took a shot from the Super Chaffee, so I know that this guy wasn't currently disconnected. And when I did approach, he was moving. So it was kind of weird. Like, I'm not sure what the Super Chaffee was doing or what was going on, but the FV comes around the corner. I hit him once, and then these guys get into a little brawl, and the FV ends up cleaning him up as well, and that's the game. So I know I kind of missed that little fight there too, but the whole point of this video is to just show you guys the plays I made and really the outcome of the game overall, right? That's what happened here, and I don't know what else to say about it, man. I don't know what else to tell you guys. I wish I can give you guys some advice. I always say hindsight is 20/20. There's certainly things we could have done differently here, but just like in the other game that I did on, man, I forget that map, but I threw a game in the Hawk 30. I brought that video to you guys by the time you see this one, probably a few weeks ago, and I had a big topic of hindsight is 20/20, guys. Like, you can always make different plays, but you don't know what will happen until it happens. So it's unfortunate, man, but you can't go back. And yeah, I can say we threw this game, man. Maybe I could have been more careful in how I approached the guys that were at our base, and I would have had more HP to maybe take a shot from the FV304, but if he penned, he probably still would have hit me for like 300 something, maybe even 400, and would it have been enough HP even if I didn't take a shot from like the Giro or the VK? Who knows, man, but at some point I had to do something there, so I decided to use my HP. Maybe I would have been better off coming all the way around and trying a different angle or something, and trying to be even more fancy than I already was being, because I was being really fancy trying to knock down all these trees and get in the bushes and conserve my HP. But I don't really know what else I could do for this team, man. I always say, I don't know what else this team wants from me. 24, 23 damage. You'll see it was like 1900 spotting in the end plates. 5 kills, guys. We got high caliber, and we threw this one. We lost it. I'm sorry to say. I just couldn't carry it, but I tried my best, guys. That's all that counts, right? So we got a mastery, high caliber, 2480 damage, 10 module damage, 5 kills, 1945 assist. I don't know what else I can do for these guys, man. We were top by damage and everything, and I tried my best, guys, and that's all. James 8A played a really good game at the end here. Ran in and shotgunned me and then cleaned up our enemy, or the enemy FV304 for him, my friendly FV304. And yeah, I just wish this guy, K-Dog, man, if he could have just hit one of these shots, man. Just one shot, even if he like hit the guy's track or something and just made him a one shot for me, we might have been okay, because I just don't know if the Super Chaffee was going to even move. But I'll say this, if the Super Chaffee was a slightly better player or wasn't having connection problems or whatever the heck was going on, because he had 124 damage, which was the one shot he got into the FE304, I assume. I don't know if this guy would have came down to the base anyway, but again, if he was a better player, this game would have been a loss anyway, man. I mean, he had every advantage. He was full HP. He has the mobility against me. I mean, he could have even rammed me or something, and that would have been the game. So, in reality, this game should have been a loss regardless, but it still just sucks, man. I hate losing, guys, these really, really close games. I hate losing, but I hate losing the really, really close ones that I think I could have won if I just made one or two different plays in the game. So that's all. I'll show you this right here, like the damage and all that, because I did end up 3-marking this thing, and I don't have the 3-mark video because I was on Malinovka and I did like 2200 spotting and I 3-marked the tank, and it was the most boring game ever because I just sat in a bush for like 4 minutes, got YOLO'd by the enemy light tank at the end. At the end of my game, it was an enemy 1357 actually, so it was a tier 7 enemy light, and he YOLO'd me and killed me, and my team just couldn't even help me. They were like camping or whatever, I don't know, man. But I ended up dying there, and that's how I 3-marked it. So I'm not going to bring you that video or that replay. I didn't save it, but at 135 battles, I was at a 59% win rate and 790 damage. By the time I 3-marked this thing, we were well over 800 damage. So I had to do a good amount of damage to 3-mark this vehicle, and I think we ended with a 60% win rate. Might have still been a 59% win rate. And then again, we were running this thing with Bounty Optics, Bounty Low Noise Exhaust, and then Binox in the scouting slot for my scouting setup. And this is what the crew was at, guys, in case you're interested to see the crew. That's what it was at when pretty much when we 3-marked this vehicle. Again, I think it took me 161 battles or something. It was 160 something to 3-mark this thing. So I did play like another 30 or so battles after this. So the crew went up a little bit, but I'm on Brothers in Arms, so nothing would have changed, right? This doesn't proc until 100%. That's all, guys. I hope you enjoyed this really close game. I really, really wanted to win this one. It sucks, man, but hopefully you guys can see the mistakes I made. Probably threw away too much HP against people on the base, and just always conserve your HP, guys. But did the best I could. That's all. Hope you learned a thing or two. I will catch you for the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.